All right, today we're going to be picking for speed. So we're going to work on right hand picking technique. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to find what's called like your potential picking speed. And the way you do that is you just play one string as fast as you can, like on a muted string. So like if I'm on the high E string, I'm just going to go for it. Now, what you want to do, you have to keep the pick kind of stiff. You don't want a lot of bending in the fingers. And you want to approach the string with the pick at kind of like an angle. So you need to have like a downward angle, and maybe even a tilt like towards the floor or the other way, whichever way it happens. People do it both ways. But just kind of start by gliding the string through the pick. That way you can feel that it's not getting caught. And then just go for it. Just see how fast you can pick. And whatever that is, that's the technique that you kind of want to remember. Try it on the B string. Just do it until you kind of burn out a little bit. And then go to the next string. Then the D string. I notice as you get to the wound strings, it gets a little harder, so you want to work on those a little more. Then go to the A string, the E string, and it's tricky. So once you get that down, what you want to do next is, stretch out a little bit. Remember that potential picking speed and get a metronome and start like at 120 beats a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to play 16th notes at about that fast. So right here it'd be like a... And notice I'm putting an accent on the beat. Notice the pattern starting with a downstroke. When you really get that locked in, so when you're just working on the potential speed that you can pick, you just want to go for it as fast as you can to find the mechanic. But now the trick is you really want to lock in to like the groove of the beat. The more that you can lock in with that metronome, the more reliable your technique becomes. Next string. Next string. Next one. If you find yourself starting to rush, that may be a good thing because you can play faster, but really you should really watch out and try to keep it right in the groove. Now try the same thing, but play the 7th fret and try to palm mute every note. So you don't want a mute that's too hard. It doesn't sound like a note. You don't want it to be too open, but you want it to be nice and tight. Notice that it feels a little different, the palm mute. Okay, so once you do that, a good idea would be to go back and do all of that starting on the upstroke. So instead of putting the accent on the downstroke, down, 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 try up, 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 up. So by forcing yourself to put the accent on the upstroke, it makes the exercise much harder. start putting the pocket. Get it tight. I'm going to go ahead and increase the tempo and go back to starting on the downstroke. I'm going to go to like 140. Now the upstroke. Notice the upstroke took a while to get kind of as good in the pocket, so you really want to work it until they even out. You want both starting on the downstroke and the upstroke to sound pretty even for as long as you can through the tempo. Let's go up to like 160. See if you can still hang with that. Yeah, go up to 180, see what that does, but we can do it. At some point I may have to lose the palm, it slows you down a little bit. Yeah. Let's go up to 190. Don't want to push it to 200 quite yet. See if I can go 200. So I'm starting to feel it, starting to break a little bit. I could probably get up to 210, 220 on an open string without the palm mute if I wanted to. So when you reach kind of like your pinnacle of like your speed, because you're basically going as fast as you can back and forth. You're going straight through the string and straight back. So now you have to kind of create a handicap for yourself to increase your speed. And so what you do is you just play eighth notes at the same tempo, in a straight up down and then a up like this. If you do that, that'll help set up like your pick angle to make sure it gets out of the way, and also it'll do is it'll help set up you're getting back to the prep stroke faster because you can't go straight through the string anymore. You have to actually kind of go around, so it makes it a little harder. So if you can do that, you can definitely go back and forth through the string because it's actually less motion. Once again, I'll do the eighth notes and the 16th notes. If you want to give it even harder, you can try upstrokes on the eighth notes. It's a different muscle, but it's strong. So that's probably my problem. I probably need to back up and some tempo and just work the eighth notes on the upstroke. But as you can see, going back and forth, it's easier. You can do that. So that's basically what's called developing your potential picking speed. Now, the next handful of exercises have to do with a chromatic scale. So the first one, you're going to play it in groups of 4 notes, then groups of 2s, and then you're going to play, each note just once as you descend down the line. So let's back up the tempo a little bit. 120 again. Let's do this chromatic scale in 4s. So why this is important is now we're working on coordination in the left hand. And by forcing ourselves to play each note 4 times, we're working and drawing attention to the exact points of movement in the left hand that the finger has to go down. So in other words, we're practicing the left hand slow, but forcing it to be quick. And then the same thing on 2 notes. And you really want to keep small motions in the left hand. Don't let your pinky go out in the no man's land. Always be moving the finger that you just played to the next position it needs to go to. Then you can play the whole thing. Then increase the speed. Try like 140 now, 4s. And for any point that you feel like your picking's just not working, just go back and just go crazy with it. Just as fast as you can get it. Just to help yourself remember what the mechanic feels like. All right, now back to 4s again. It'll be better, I promise. It felt different. My mechanic felt a little more solid. 2s. Then 1 note. I'm just going to slop him and do it again. A little better. That's more like it. Then one more time. Let's try it like 160. See if I can make that happen. Let me also try palm muted. Sloppy, we'll try that again. Then, so notice there's one more motion that we add to do that. What we're doing is we're keeping the same thing, but we have to kind of move to the next string before we play that string. And to do that in that example, what I was doing is I was kind of craning, my right hand like this. Another way to look at that is outside motion between 2 strings, where you go up and then you're going down. Oh yeah, and you can also do that exercise, that whole thing, going up. All right, so that's the first part of this. Come back and get the second part.